Hey everybody, welcome to my E3 2013 wrap-up extravaganza where I'm going to be going through all the console manufacturers, third-party publishers, giving my thoughts and opinions on their press conference, all the news thingies that they're going to be announcing, as well as giving my thoughts and opinions on all the brand spanking, shiny, new, smexy video games that are going to be unveiled to us. So first off the bat, Microsoft. Now for a while, suffice it to say, without sugarcoating anything, yeah, Microsoft has not really been in a good situation PR-wise, from the gamers to the industry. Nobody was really feeling that Xbox One. There was so much controversy for the used games and always online DRM, Kinect having to be on your system at all times even if you weren't using its features. It really did seem that Microsoft was giving the finger to the gamers as well as crusading us towards a quasi Skynet type future where every second of every day, every minute of every hour, they are always watching. They are always caring. So you best think twice about where you put your hands. Yeah. Amongst all of those memes, some of them created by yours truly, I wasn't really going to write Microsoft off because the way I saw it was there was no way in hell Microsoft was going to come on stage and do 2 failed conferences within less than 4 weeks. That was just impossible. Just the thought did not fathom me that they would go through all of that, deal with all of that controversy, and have another shitty press conference. I was thinking to myself, they've got to show games. They've got to show games. No more emphasis on sports, TV, Xbox this, Xbox that, Xbox this, Xbox that, Call of Duty. And what happened? Well, honestly, I gotta say that their conference was not too shabby at all. Their conference was actually kind of enjoyable. Now, was that because they showed games, or was the bar just set really low? Well, we'll find out with some of the things that they unveiled. So we're not talking about next generation experiences. I'm surprised they really didn't focus so much on experiences in this entire conference. But despite that, we've got some information on the current generation system, the Xbox 360. It's getting a brand new redesign, people. Yes, so for the people out there who still haven't bought an Xbox 360, you're going to be able to buy a slimmer, sleeker, sexier looking Xbox that will ease in the transition for Xbox One. So when you got both the Xbox One and Xbox 360 redesign in your living room and you're popping in that Xbox 360 game in your 360, it's only going to feel a little less disheartening that the Xbox One isn't backwards compatible. Boo-hoo. A free-to-play game is coming to the Xbox 360 called World of Tanks. This is apparently a really popular PC title. It's kind of ironic hearing free-to-play and Microsoft in the same sentence. It's also kind of ironic that you're going to need an Xbox Live Gold subscription to play a free-to-play game. That's not what we're here for. We're not supposed to point out the flaws in the logic. Or are we? Anyway, outside of that, Microsoft came out with a bang and unveiled that Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, will also be appearing on their next generation system. So this rounds off the list of platforms it's going to be available on to Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS3, PS4, and Microsoft Windows at some point whatsoever. So yeah, you're going to be playing Metal Gear on every system imaginable, except that Wii U. I'm going to keep pointing this out. I've just got to keep pointing this out, people. Come on now. Don't get so anal. Outside of that announcement, I'm just going to go into previously known Xbox One titles. First on the agenda, we have Rise. This was a game that was announced a couple years back by Crytek that would focus heavily on the Kinect. A couple years later, thank God, the Kinect focus is gone, but this game, Rise, looks like Asura's Wrath set in Rome. That's basically what the case is. The game looks pretty, but there's so much emphasis on QuickTime events, man. Like, what is the deal? QuickTime events were something special back in the days of Shenmue and God of War, and we had some interesting things and uses with Heavy Rain this generation, but my God, everybody is on that QTE hype. And this game, Rise, Son of Rome, man, okay, maybe I'm just being ignorant and that was just a particular portion of the game, but if that's just the point of the game, pretty graphics, blood and gore, and heavy in QTEs, I don't see myself picking up Rise, Son of QTEs anytime soon. Okay? Damn. Forza 5, why do you care about Forza 5 if you on that Gran Turismo hype? Well, because it's gonna utilize cloud computing, and it's going to be different every single time you play because it's going to memorize your driving styles, driving patterns, and it's going to create enemies and foes to match your styles, apparently. But there's a sexy-ass car on stage, so that's awesome. That car actually was pretty sexy, I'm not even going to lie. This one was actually pretty funny to me. Quantum Break. Here's some in-game real-time footage. It's a cutscene. Wow, Remedy. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Battlefield 4 on Xbox One. It's the same fucking shit Except Sparkly. Why y'all niggas are hyped up for Battlefield 4? I do not even know. I do not even know. Okay, now that we've gotten those out of the way, let's move on to the brand new, interesting IPs that they unveiled. First and foremost, we have Sunset Overdrive, which comes from an exclusive partnership by Insomniac Games. Yes, you heard that right, Insomniac Games, the guys who brought us Ratchet and Clank and Resistance. People are wondering how in the world this happened. I'll tell you why. They went from being exclusive to independent to multiplat to exclusive again. It's all one big circle, you see, except now they're playing for the opposite team. You niggas sold out, I'll just say that. You bring us that shitty ass generic Fuse and now you're bringing us this exclusive game. But nah, to be real, people, to be real, no jokes aside, Sunset Overdrive looks great. If you take Techland's new game, Dying Light, and you make it like a Pixar version, that's pretty much what it is, Sunset Overdrive. I love the color palette for it. This and Microsoft's new title, Project Spark, which is like Little Big Planet, but not really. Basically, it's full 3D, and you're going to be able to craft, and you'll be able to create your world and scenarios, events, and all these cool things. I really do like the emphasis that more developers are putting on more quirky, cartoony games as opposed to all these hyper-realistic games. I mean, I love the look of hyper-realistic realism in games. I love that stuff, but it comes a point where that's pretty much all we're getting. Just these dark and gritty story experiences that are just trying to be so adult and mature, but they're not, and they forget that they're supposed to be games, and games are supposed to have good stories if they're going for a story, and in this case, they're just going for the dark and realistic and revenge, you killed my daughter, I'm gonna get you, bastard. They're just going for that in those moments as opposed to actually telling a good story, which is sad. So it's nice to see that we're gonna be seeing more games like Sunset Overdrive and Project Spark that definitely just, the creativity is flourishing, and I am glad to see that Microsoft is getting behind that, finally. And with the new announcement of the game by Sweary65 D4, Microsoft is definitely pushing for these kind of games that have, an abundance of creativity in this sort of genre. This is going to be fully cel-shaded. It looks Kinect focused, but that really doesn't bother me as long as you see more of these games to, make a parallel structure to these hyper-realistic, nitty-gritty, I want to be mature story type realistic games, then I'm perfectly fine. Now, it wouldn't be a Microsoft conference without some fails, right? The spiritual successor to Panzer Dragoon, Crimson Dragon, oh boy, was that a fail. Somebody was paid $500 to get over there and yell, Xbox mute, when that trailer came on, because they played the entire trailer. There was no audio. It was actually kind of weird though, because before I realized that, man, fireballs sound like applause in the crowd. So that was really weird. That'd be the weirdest applause. That'd be the weirdest sounds for a fireball. It's like, woo, woo, woo. Very strange. Damn pity people were showing for Microsoft there. As well as the Battlefield 4 trailer. You saw that and it took at least 2 minutes for them to start it up. It's like, it started up. Don't worry, it's going to be there. Oh, what's that on screen? That's not DLC. That's not DLC. It's not DLC. It's not DLC. It's not DLC. It's DLC. CD Projekt Red, in my opinion, one of the best developers of this generation, showed up on stage to announce that The Witcher 3 would be available on the Xbox One as well as the PlayStation 4. I gotta say that is a very good move because I love CD Projekt Red. The main point I'm trying to get at is that the more people who play their games, the better, because they are a fantastic developer. In my opinion, these guys can show a lot of these popular RPG makers like Bethesda and BioWare a thing or two. This is real, dark, and mature storytelling. None of that bullshit you see in Fable with fart jokes and, oh, be a fool in the crowd. None of that BS. The Witcher is the real deal. Of course, I'm going to be picking this game up day one when it launches on the PC Master Race because, yeah, it's good that they're hyping up the console versions, but come on. We all know the main platform they're focusing on. Come on. Come on. Get the fuck out of here with that Fable, though. Seriously. Fable is amazing, man. It's a real RPG. Fuck no! And to round off the event, Microsoft unveiled that a brand new Halo game will be showing up on Xbox One. What nigga didn't know that? What nigga didn't know that? I would have found the nigga that didn't know that. Halo 5 will be debuting in 2014. It's probably not going to be called Halo 5 because, well, we're really getting high up in the numbers. The new Halo game will be running at 60 frames per second on console, so it only took them over a decade to do that when Halo 1 and 2 are on PC in 60 frames per second. Damn. Damn console limitations. Damn. And the final game announcement was from the guys over at Respawn Entertainment. They came on stage to debut their new title, Titanfall. This is the one game that I can really tagline easily impressed gamers, because you had so many people coming up here and saying, I'm tired of first-person shooter games, I'm tired of all this run and gun, I'm tired of all these military settings, and all you're doing is just shooting people. And then when they announced this game, which is basically Call of Duty action, but with fucking mechs, hell. Easily impressed gamers flock. That is pretty much the case. That is pretty much the case. All these people, easily impressed gamers, that is what I'm going to call them. Not saying the game looks bad, but these people who are just complaining about all this stuff, it's rinse and repeat, just with a different coat of paint. That's all this game is. You know what it fucking looks like? It looks like Hawken had a baby with Pacific Rim, and the baby was kind of mentally retarded, so the mechs are nowhere near as big as they are in Pacific Rim, and the uncle was the one who watched after the kid, and the uncle was kind of spastastic, so he was always hyper and active, and that's how the kid learned about Call of Duty, and that's what it is. That is what Titanfall is. So, yeah. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about the real star of the show. What was the real thing that got me? The fact that Rare was working on a new title for the Xbox One. What was that new title for the Xbox One, Neil? What are you wondering? It's called Sports Rivals. Sports Rivals, a brand new game for Kinect. It's great to see that Microsoft is actually using Rare in a positive light again. They're creating another Kinect sports game. But in all seriousness, people, KI. That is all I gotta say. Killer Instinct is making its revival, it's making its return exclusively on Xbox One. And I gotta say, about freaking time. Microsoft, this was the best move you pulled throughout the entirety of the conference. I didn't even care for the gameplay that came out. I don't even have anything to form on what I think about the game and how it relates to the older titles. But the fact that we're getting a new Killer Instinct game is just... I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say about this, except it's a new Killer Instinct game. Let's get hyped. Let's get hyped. But wait a minute. We actually have to buy a fight pad now. Fucking hell, we can't play Killer Instinct on a controller. We gotta get a fight stick now. Fucking hell, there goes $200. Damn it. Now that you've got all these games to get excited for, the system itself is looking pretty nice. What is the price for the system actually going to be? Microsoft confirmed that the Xbox One will launch in 21 markets this holiday season. November, you're going to be able to get your hands on the Xbox One for $499 US, 499 euros, and 429 pounds. Now, what do I think about the pricing? Honestly, I gotta say the pricing is fine. It's a lot cheaper than I expected it to be. In some cases, it does seem like a steep, because when you consider that the way the economy was handling, you would expect them to come out with a system that's like in the $450, $400 range. But when you think about it, the way that other companies like Apple are able to sell their products, like the iPad and all these other companies are able to sell those type of products, it really isn't out of this world to consider them pricing this thing. God forbid they would have priced it at $599 US just because they think that their system's going to be just tastic. But I think the pricing for the system is fine. But I gotta say honestly that this conference was really not too shabby at all. I'm glad that we got a price point. I'm glad that we got to see more new IPs that are focusing on a different genre. It's not just going for the bro game or the realistic, let's just shoot guns everywhere type of person. It remains to be seen the quality of these games, how they're going to handle in the real when we actually get our hands on them. I gotta say, things are definitely looking up for Microsoft in the game department. So for those people who are saying that the system ain't gonna have any games, which, you know, I was kind of worried about, I guess we can put it to rest for now. We know that we're gonna get some solid entries over the course of this fall season up until like next year. So good show, Microsoft. The conference actually wasn't that bad. Now, if you could just keep on this and keep doing this and no more of that sports, TV, Xbox, I think you may win back the core gamer. Now what you got to do is focus on telling us about these policies, because that's the one thing I was disappointed about in this event. No talk, no mention whatsoever on the used games, always online, and Kinect having to be on your system 24/7. Why didn't they talk about that? They knew this was a big controversy. They're probably going to do some corporate BS and do it in some hush-hush interviews that you're going to hear days from now, and they're just going to try to shovel this under the rug. Yes, they're not going to sweep it under the rug. They're actually going to get a shovel and shovel it under the rug. That's how suspicious this is going to look. But I mean, come on, they really had to do that instead of putting their fingers in their ears and going, la 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 la, we get it, we're here, we're just going to do what we want. Come on, I don't like that. But anyway, guys, I will see you later on this week for my wrap-up on Sony.